Hello everyone, I'm Emre Koçyiğit. In this video series, I will try to answer important questions of deep learning. You can pause the video and try to answer the question. Then compare your answer with mine. Questions will be fundamental and the answers will be simple. Let's start with the first question. What are the differences and similarities between deep learning and machine learning? First of all, let's look at the conceptual diagram of artificial intelligence and machine learning deep learning. Remember, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, and deep learning is also a subset of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So they are both subsets of artificial intelligence. Then we can easily say that with machine learning and deep learning, we are trying to build some smart models to imitate the human intelligence. To understand similarities between machine learning and deep learning, let's look at this diagram. The above one indicates the traditional programming flow. In traditional programming, we need to define the rules, then our program will generate the output and answer according to this predefined rule. For example, we can say that if the price of the t-shirt is bigger than $100, then it is expensive, else then it is cheap. So as you see, it's quite simple rule. When you give a new t-shirt, new price, like $50, then program will generate cheap according to the rule. But in machine learning and deep learning, we will not define the rules. We will give the data to the model and our models will find the rule. So the output will be rule instead of answer. And sometimes we will give our data with answers, but sometimes without answers. And it will affect the learning type. The learning procedure of machine learning and deep learning is quite similar. If there is a supervising in the training phase, then we will call it supervised learning. In other words, if we give the data with the answers, with the labels to the model, then it will be supervised learning. But when we give data without any answer and without any supervision, then we will call it unsupervised learning. And semi-supervised learning is a combination of these two. Sometimes you can see that in deep learning, deep supervised learning, deep unsupervised learning, or deep semi-supervised learning terms. So they are all quite similar. Let's look at the differences between the deep learning and machine learning. The first one is the performance of deep learning on big data. Let's look at this graph. You can easily see that when we increase the amount of data, the performance of the traditional algorithms will be same after some threshold, after some amount of data. But in deep learning, when we increase the amount of data, the performance of the model will increase too. So this is the first biggest difference of deep learning from machine learning. And the second one is feature learning process. Remember that in machine learning, when we give our input, our data to the model, we also need to define our features. So by using feature engineering techniques, we need to extract the features and give the model. And our machine learning model, let's assume that it's a classification model, will use these features and data set to generate output. However, in deep learning models, the feature extraction part will be handled inside the model. For example, remember face recognition problem. In machine learning, we need to give the features of faces like eye color or the distance between the ears. But in deep learning, especially in the CNN model, the most significant features will be extracted by the model. So this is quite an important difference between the deep learning and machine learning. And the last biggest difference is the, of course, architecture of the deep learning models. Neural network is also part of machine learning, but in deep learning, the layers, the depth of the network is too much, it's deep. So if you look at this diagram, each line represents layers, and each node is a neuron of neural network. In another question, I would elaborate this part, but for this moment, we can easily say that The architecture of deep learning and depth of deep learning models is another important difference. And that's all. This is the answer of first question.